Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om.
Are we the same? Is there a oneness in all humanity?
Absolutely. Krishnamurti has a beautiful image. He says everybody thinks they're islands, and there's the ocean all around the islands. But when you start to focus on the ocean and are aware your identity is the ocean, and you have an island, but that isn't who you are. You and I are the same ocean, right? But we are busy with different islands. Now, you can either think you're the island, or you can think we're the
that you're
ocean. And the ocean is the awareness that surrounds it all. There's an evolutionary process of consciousness or spirit in which every human being is in some way returning to the one, or returning to God, or awakening, or coming back into being conscious. They get lost in the separateness, in the island, forgetting the ocean, and then through birth after birth after birth, they keep cleaning up and awakening until finally they begin to realize they're the ocean and not the island.
Essentially, in the life of Christ, then, as Christ...
Christ said, you're not the island, you're the ocean. He says, look, nail me up, I'll show you. It's no big deal. I'll drop it, and then I'll come back, because that isn't what it's about. And he freed everybody, but nobody would listen. He said, you know, that you aren't this. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Go in and find out who you really are.
How have you come to deal with some of the things, I mean, for all of the wisdom, or whatever we want to call it, you've acquired on this journey to achieve a sense of who you are and a great inner truth? How do you deal with things like being late?
Being late?
Being late. You know, Ram Dass is expected at the auditorium at 8 o'clock, and he's caught in a traffic jam, and he's going to be at least 45 minutes late. He's stuck in traffic. In a situation like that, where many of us would rip the steering wheel off our car, what do you do?
Enjoy the cosmic humor.
Enjoy
the predicament.
Of the predicament.
Yeah. It's as if, at one level, you're like watching a moving picture of your own life unfolding. You're watching the melodrama unfold. I mean, the Ram Dass melodrama is just another drama. And behind it all, I'm sitting in the ocean. All right? I'm no more Ram Dass than I am Bill Boggs. I'm just here. You're talking to this thing, which you assume is me. But that's just this thing that was late in traffic. Okay? And I can watch the whole process unfolding. Decay, death, birth, joy, happiness, suffering, sadness. The stuff of life, the stuff of being late, being early, being responsible, being irresponsible. And you're totally involved in the sense that you play it perfectly. You do it with total involvement, love, and compassion to relieve suffering of human beings. And at the same moment, there's no clinging to it. It's as if I'm not clinging. I'm aiming to get to the studio in time, but I'm not clinging to it. If I don't, okay, I didn't.
And how about ambition, Ram Dass? How do you address yourself to those who are where you were back in the late 50s and early 60s, who are very committed to being a success or achieving?
You can go on doing the dance you're doing perfectly you can go on being a moderator, being Bill Boggs, being perfect in your game, in your way of life, in your involvement, and at the same time deepen your connection and become aware of who you are behind the whole thing without losing a step in it at all. In other words, the achievement goes on, but you cease to be identified with being the achiever.
One's ego then must fall away in this process.
The ego is a functional entity. It's just like your suit. It keeps you warm. Your ego is a functional unit for defining the world and yourself in it. But the difference is your ego is not the master, it's your servant. Your intellect's not your master, it's your servant. Your emotions are your servant. Your body is your servant. And behind the servant you are. So you sort of sit, you're along for the ride, if you will. You're perfectly free. It's that flip on the television receiver where you and I are always right here. You want to be a moderator, I'll be the guest. Okay?
Yes.
Now who should we be?
Yes.
All right? We'll play whatever parts we have to play.
Whatever parts you want.
That's the Dharma. We play whatever we need to play to bring ourselves and everything else to liberation.
In terms of our spiritual fulfillment, there is not one true way. There is no need for...
Ultimately, there is only one goal.
The goal is...
Behind all these pursuits, Everybody wants to be happy. Whatever they do doesn't matter.
Why do you feel in the history of man there have been so many wars over religion, where people have fought and killed each other over religious beliefs?
The egoism got into the religion also, in the label. They said, my label is the best.
Nothing,
They-
excuse me.
There's nothing, they have not gone to the very depth of the religion. They have not understood the basic purpose of religion. When they stick to the superficialities, they say, my way is the best. But if anyone has gone to the depth of the religion, they will never say that. It's something like, if suppose I ask you, what is the purpose of eating? We all agree in one purpose.
Let's stay alive. I
Yeah,
was assuming.
that's all. But if I ask you, what do you eat for that purpose?
Probably too much and a lot
Too
of
much.
junk.
You may say, oh, if you like spaghettis, you may say spaghettis. If I like pudding, I will say pudding. Then, because of my liking to a pudding, I develop a religion behind the pudding and say, mine is pudding religion, and pudding is the only one that could satisfy the purpose. And because of your liking to a spaghettis, you build a spaghetti religion,
Yes.
and the pudding and spaghetti fight.
Yes, they do. And it's a terrible mess.
None of us has really understood the purpose.
And the purpose is,
Purpose is to be happy. That's like, that is the religion. If at all, what is the meaning of religion? To go back, to bind back what you have lost probably. We were happy once. Somehow we lost it. And we want to get that happiness back.
from the back of Be Here Now by Ram Dass, I read this morning this on the value of silence, which I'd be curious to have both of you relate to. Stop talking, stop thinking, and there is nothing you will not understand. Elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, because who is thinking and who is talking? It's the mind. It's not the real you. The real you seems to be witnessing everything without taking part in anything.
How can an individual who intellectually might not be able to grasp that concept of the real you understand what you're saying? If you were to teach that, how would you explain?
That's why normally I don't go to the level of telling people that you are the real you, the awareness. Instead, I will place them as the mind. Because there are different places from which we are functioning. We can identify ourselves to be the body. And there comes, I am white, I am black, I am fat, I am thin. You identify yourself as the body. If you identify yourself as the mind, then you become a professor, an ignorant, a fool, or this or that. It's all connected with the mind, the sane or insane. So these are the two realms in which we always talk about. So wrong position, wrong place in ourselves.
Ram, from your experience, how can an individual recognize that part of them that is in fact detached?
I would say that if you just sat down quietly and started to follow your breath, and every time you have a thought, even the thought, I'm following my breath, or I wonder what's going to happen, you let the thought go by, just as if you were watching leaves go down a stream. Just letting the thoughts go by and keep returning back to the breath. And for just 20 minutes, you follow your breath. That's all. You will know more than all the discussion we can have about how your own mind keeps creating stuff and the quiet space right behind your own mind. Right? Just experience it for yourself. It's as simple as that. That's what I would say.
The mind is like a prankster who constantly is stealing.
Mind keeps grabbing, says, think of me, I'm real, think of me. Yeah.
I'm one of those individuals who has difficulty doing that because when I try to remain silent, I can't let go of the thoughts. My mind will go off
That's
all of a
why you
sudden.
do the breath.
I'm floating down the river with the thoughts, you know.
That's why you need what's called a primary object, like the breath. See, the instruction is keep coming back to your breath, which is a thought. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. But it's you pick one thought, and that gives you like a focus point, which allows you to see all the rest of the thoughts. Later, that one goes too. Okay? Just sages.
It's something like a catalytic agent. So
The
take,
breath
for
is-
example, a material is dirt. And how do you get rid of the dirt? You buy a piece of dirt from the shop, which you call soap. Huh?
That's right.
You apply the dirt with this dirt and let them sum up in water. And at the right time, you just take the material out, the old dirt and the new dirt both remain in water. So all these practices are like this soap, catalytic agent.
That's right.
Instead of holding to the other dirt, you hold this beautiful, good-looking, nice-smelling dirt.
There is a deep spirit here, and I think it's in some way like an initiation of us recognizing that it's time for us to acknowledge our identity in the universe as instruments of peace and of healing, and of surrendering more deeply into that, of realizing that we are in impeccable peace-seer training as opposed to impeccable warrior training. And that it's time to listen more deeply to the harmonies of the universe and to find our way into it, to honor our intuitive heart, and to start to find that balance between heart and mind, between form and formless. I think it's time to recognize that we are loved and to allow ourselves to feel that we are loved. And to accept the power that that gives us to become instruments of that which is good in the universe. There are moments in everybody's life that are critical moments in which you start to turn. Let this be one of them. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Swami Satchidananda.
If we can live together for 2-3 days like this, we can always live together. This itself is an example. And we all look for happiness. Every individual. Nobody wants to be unhappy. But all the great thinkers, sages and saints have said that there is no happiness without finding peace in your heart. Then the question arose, where can I find peace? The answer is, the moment you become totally selfless, totally dedicated, there is no end for your peace. I'm just quoting the Bhagavad Gita. It says, Ashantasya kuta sukham. Where is happiness for the peaceless person? And then, how to get peace? The answer is, Tyagat Shantiranantaram. When your life is dedicated and you are free from selfishness, when you break your little individuality and feel that you are part of the whole, and you are here to serve others and to bring happiness to others, then you have found happiness. So let us rise above all these man-made differences in the name of race, religion, caste, creed, community, country, language, and color and whatnot. See the one spirit in everybody and not to miss every single opportunity to serve others and to bring happiness to others. with all the possible ways.
Okay, peace and love, guys, welcome back. So yeah, in the coming days, obviously I was feeling good. I was just in this whole new energy. You can say a bit of my ego come back because I was stepping clean now. But I remember it got to me reading the Quran. It got to me reading the Quran. I was like, yes. I was like bringing it out on the exercise yard with me, sitting down on the floor just reading it. And I was reading it for about a week. So about a week after, you know, the visit from my brethren, yeah, which is, it's not as like, I think it was the second week of Ramadan now, and I was reading Quran and I was like, nah, like, this ain't it, man. Like, I was trying so hard to like the book. I was trying so hard. I had all these hopes and expectations for this book being the one, because, you know, I already read the Bible. I thought the Bible was cool, and, you know, what I felt in my heart when I prayed and the love from the brothers and stuff like that, I really had my hopes up. And like, I was getting messages in my journal saying that, yo, I was to preach Islam when I come out, blah blah blah. Obviously I interpreted the message wrong. The message was that I was gonna preach when I came out, not preach Islam, but whatever, that's how I interpreted the message at the time, innit? So I had all these hopes up for the Quran, and it came, and I was like, nah, it's like, this ain't it, man. I can't force this thing. I was like, this ain't the one, man. Like, no offense to the Muslims out there, innit? But like, I just didn't learn nothing from the book, man. It just wasn't teaching me anything. There weren't any like jewels. Obviously there probably is, but like, remember my knowledge already. Like, some stuff has happened to me, innit? I've had some mystical experience happen to me and stuff like that. I've been exposed to some stuff, and I was really deep on this thing. I wanted to know about, you know, the soul and stuff like that, and, you know, the soul's journey, and, you know, reincarnation, and like, I'd been exposed to so much, and I finally got this book, and the book was like, don't do this, and hellfire this, hellfire that, and I was like, nah. And I was like, you know what, like, I was like, I'm not Muslim, man. I was like, yo, I don't fear you, Allah. I swear to God, I don't fear you, Allah. Like, so at this point, after 2 weeks now, I was like, that's it. And see me, when I make my mind up about something, when I feel in my heart that something is not right or something is right, I follow my heart and I go and I change and I'm done. And this goes for situations, this goes for people as well. So a little warning, yeah, I think this is my Aquarius moon, in it, that, yo, I can just switch and go and, you know, and not have any emotion about it. So it's something I'm aware of, something that I'm working on, blah, blah, blah. It's a bit of a weakness that I have. Well, yeah, it is what it is. So anyways, I made up my mind there and then. I was like, yo, I'm not Muslim no more. I stopped praying. I was like, yo, this is wrong for me to carry on praying. I don't know what kind of spirits I'm calling on or whatever. And yeah, I broke fast, innit? And it was like, damn, like, how the hell do I tell the Aki brothers on the wing, in Spanish, by the way, which is very hard to express myself, that, oh yeah, sorry guys, I got hold of your holy book, and yeah, it's just not the one. It's a bit too basic for me. My knowledge is more superior. It's like, yo, what the fuck do I say? So it was like, shit, man. I didn't say anything, and I felt like a fraud, innit? I felt like a fraud. I was a fraud, whatever. And it come down to, when it came to Eid, and obviously I stopped praying in it for like 2 weeks, and like, we all broke fast together around the table. Everyone was smoking hash, and we all done like one big group prayer. Now, I only prayed one time with Maddie together, and that was very special. And it was like, shit, I've got to pray again, innit? Yo, I prayed with the brothers, and it was like, again, the most amazing, beautiful feeling. And it was like, nah, hold on, bro, hold on. All right, cool. You ain't got to be no Muslim, bro. You ain't got to be no Muslim, but for sure you can carry on praying, in it, because if something makes you feel good, yeah, you got to do that shit. And I'm not talking about fucking drinking alcohol or fucking eating a cheeseburger that makes you feel good. I'm talking good for the soul, feeding the soul. And the prayer was doing a lot for me still. So at this point I was like, you know what, man, you ain't got to be Muslim, bro. You ain't got to be Muslim. Let's just carry on praying, man. Let's just carry on praying. So so yeah, I just kind of had to do a kind of little fraud thing and just kind of chill. And yeah, so anyways, I started reading other books. I started tapping into other books, and yo, there was like the Graham Hancock books and shit like that. And one book that I came across now, when I saw this at first, I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was like some weird orange book. I looked through it, had this weird different language in it, which was Sanskrit. I didn't know what Sanskrit was at the time, language of the gods. And it had some pictures in the middle. And this is what really drew me to this book. In the picture, it had pictures in the middle. By the way, the book was the Bhagavad Gita, the Hare Krishna book. I'd never heard of Hare Krishnas before, never heard of the Gita before. And there was a picture in the middle, and it had like a baby, you know, a child, a teenager, an adult, an old man, and then going back down, and it was like showing you the cycle, and it was like going like this, innit? So obviously, you know, I'm really on I understand about reincarnation and the soul's journey and that kind of stuff. So, yo, I'm looking into this this book. Maybe it was like the 8th book that I tapped into. Like I said, it wasn't one of the first ones, because I was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm looking in there, yo, I'm looking at the contents. Yo, reincarnation, vegetarianism. And by the way, I remember the Aki saying to me, oh, why don't you eat the meat? The Prophet Muhammad, he ate meat, therefore we should eat meat. And they was telling me it was haram, the fact that I wasn't eating meat. And I was like, nah, man. I was like, fuck that, man. Like, I'm fucking carrying on doing my thing. Wow, there's a butterfly. I was like, yeah, I'm carrying on doing my thing. So anyway, in this book, the Bhagavad Gita, you know, had things about yoga, the soul, reincarnation, vegetarianism, all this kind of stuff. And yo, I read this Gita and I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away by the knowledge that was being poured out in this book. And it was finally, I would say, the answers that I was looking for, and it was the answers I've been looking for. And it had the blueprint. The Bhagavad Gita had the blueprint of how to live in this lifetime, innit? About how to, I'm not gonna say alleviate suffering, but you know, like transcend, innit? How to ultimately transcend and not repeat the cycle of life and birth, birth and death, or whatever it's called. So yeah, man, the Bhagavad Gita was beautiful. What other books did I read? I read the 4 Agreements. What were they again? The 4 Agreements. Never make assumptions. I don't know, maybe I'll leave the titles of the books at the bottom. Yeah, also something as well, I know it's off topic with the video, but something that I just wanted to add in and share with you guys, all you fruit lovers out there. You know, in Joe, you get creative, innit? There's a lot of like different tricks, like little things that people do, because you know, you're limited, so you know, you naturally, you know, see what's around and you get creative with it. I actually had to share a cell with this Algerian dude, innit? This older Algerian dude. And he showed me this trick in it. So basically you get like a can of tuna and you rinse it out, obviously, and with that same screw that we was using to like smoke the hash with do the little trophy though, you pierce holes in the can of tuna, innit? You pierce holes in the can of tuna, bare holes, and basically you get one of the trays, the bandejas from downstairs, you bring that upstairs, and yo, fucking grate the fruit. You grate the fruit. Now, bear in mind, it's been definitely a year. I've been in jail like a year now, and I'm eating so much fruit. Oh my days, you can imagine I was going ham on the fruits. Like, I just had abundance of fruit, so I was just like constantly eating fruit, eat, blah, 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 blah. My man showed me, and I was like, wow. So I was making like smoothies. I was making smoothies basically, man, just grinding down the fruit with the thing. It was a sick little mechanism in it, and all the time, sometimes I used to cut myself, but whatever. And instead of putting it in a cup, because it was actually quite thick, I used to have it on the tray in it, and I used to have, because the tray has like 4 compartments, I would do like little mixtures in it. Like one would be like apple, and you know, apples sometimes they're a lot to eat because they're quite hard, and for the teeth it's a bit like grating down the apples, the pears, even the plums, the apricots, the peaches, doing little mixtures. Oh wow, I was getting really creative with it, so that really transformed my my whole fruit experience. I thought I'd share that with you. Man. I thought I'd share that one with you.
Hey guys, okay, so in today's vlog, we're gonna talk about karmic debt and where karmic debt is stored and why, and how to release karmic debt. So, okay, now the planet that rules your karmic debt and keeps you aligned with what your soul wanted to pay back on earth here is Saturn. And Saturn, the rings of Saturn are extremely powerful. They radiate an extremely like powerful energy from them. So Saturn keeps us super aligned, and it makes sure that our soul is happy, basically. It makes sure that all of your past timelines, all of your past karmic debt is paid off in this life. So, and the area that it's stored is the root chakra. So the root chakra, which is the color red, it's your first chakra right underneath your tailbone, kind of around your tailbone. The root chakra holds all your trust, your security that you want in life. We all want trust and security, right? But the root chakra is often closed or open depending on what your karmic debts are that you want to pay back in this lifetime, which are ruled by Saturn. So just a quick backstory on karmic debt and lifetimes and being born and dying, being born and dying. So every single lifetime that you've had in the past, you've accumulated some sort of karmic debt. We all have. That's the point of learning, and that's the point of experiences, and that's the point of like going from unconscious to conscious. We have to learn the lessons in between. We have to endure the suffering in order to grow to consciousness. So, all of your karmic debt from past lifetimes, which is ruled by Saturn, is held in your root chakra, like a timeline. Your root chakra has memories of every single kind of karmic debt that your soul, before it got this body, it has a timeline of everything that your soul wants to get over in this lifetime. The reason the soul wants to get over past karmic debts is because debts keep you heavy. They keep you in fear, and they keep you from evolving. The soul's main purpose is to evolve into that God's head, the God consciousness. In order to do that, souls also, so once we die, it's not over. It is far from over. We are actually also in a so-called school that starts from kindergarten to like your PhD, basically. And the souls have to go through all of these like learning lessons and understandings like we do here up in the ether as well, in order to really live their energetic soul mission. So there's the soul's mission might be to be in the sixth dimension and to spread like wisdom over the whole ether. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So now that the soul has come in your body, the reason it's come into this earth, which is called the 3D world, it's very heavy, it's dense, we have lots of fears. Our societal, our governments, everybody keeps us in fear. So the soul will come to the earth, grab a body, be born to certain parents to go through certain traumas in order to release even past debt, past karmic debt. Now, these traumas are created for the soul to go through and get over, so that when this body is dead, so now when I die, if I've paid back most of my karmic debt, I get to elevate into a higher dimension and become lighter and more love, or I may choose to I don't know what my soul wants, but I hope you get the point. That's the thing. Like you get lighter. You're not as heavy in this dimension. So this memory of karmic debt is very important. It's important to your soul, which is held in your root chakra. And Saturn will pull on your root chakra often, because when the root chakra is closed, you're not going to feel secure. You're not going to trust people. You're not going to trust yourself. And your timeline of karmic debt is measured by the energies from Saturn. So Saturn's going to be like, okay, this person is on the path they're walking through that path of sorrow, path of pain, but the karmic debt is not paid back until that moment of when you hit the trauma and you hit the pain. It's how you choose to respond to the trauma and respond to the pain. Are you going to respond to the trauma and pain with ego and fear and everything that is here on this 3D world? Or are you going to respond to the trauma and pain with this sense of it's going to be okay, with love for yourself, love for others? Are you going to respond with consciousness? Or are you going to do what everything in your root chakra is holding on to, even your past timelines, which probably was unconscious and habit and held in the subconscious mind? That's the tipping point. So Saturn's not bad. Saturn always gets a bad rep. And so does the root chakra sometimes. These things are not bad. When you work through your shit in consciousness, every time you're elevated to a new level, your next experience that you have in this lifetime is going to be even better. But if you don't finish up your karmic debt here, you're going to accumulate more while you're on this earth. And what happens then is, if the lesson was not learned and forgiveness was not given, often it's forgiveness. Karmic debt has a lot to do with forgiveness. If the forgiveness was not given, because forgiveness is enlightenment, remember, then what's going to happen is, let's say, all of a sudden someone gets into a car accident and dies, but they were holding on to a lot of karmic debt still because they hadn't forgiven. So now when their soul goes up into the ether, this karmic debt is still carried on. Now, when they reincarnate, if they choose to reincarnate, that karmic debt gets even harder. It's like even harder if it's not dealt with in this lifetime. So Saturn will get a bad rap often, and so will the root chakra, but here's the opposite of it, man. And I can say this from experience. This is only the reason I do these vlogs, is I only talk from what I've experienced. When you start opening up that root chakra, I am in love with my root chakra. I am in such love with it and the planet Saturn, because when you start opening it up, you start to experience this like security and this trust within yourself, within like your own soul, the planets. You begin to feel like, shit, I have a purpose here. I am here for a reason. My life has significance. Like, I'm going to speak, I'm going to teach, I am going to follow this life wherever it takes me. This root chakra gives you so much strength, and it actually is the first ray, which is the red ray, to take you onto your positive karma. Now you're accumulating positive karma, and it starts taking you quicker and quicker and quicker to the people that you need to meet in order to do what you need to do and expand your consciousness even more. And when you get aligned with this energy, with the root chakra, Saturn pushes in. And this is why I always say, when things are good and you're in the vortex, things start happening like this. They don't wait around. When good things are ready, when you're ready, like so Saturn and the root chakra have aligned, things are gonna come to you like this. There's no if, buts, and ands. The universe wants you to have everything good. You were in your own way. Your karma, your past life debt was in your own way. Then when you're open and the energies are aligned, things start happening like this so quickly, and it's beautiful. It's a good feeling. It's a beautiful thing. Love you guys. Bye.